going, like he told me every day at Pine Rest, like when I talked to him, I'm going to continue breaking things in your home and I'm going to continue being assaultive until I get what I want. Like I'm not going to stop.
Just as Cam predicted, she says his behavior became worse. She says he broke a window in a fit of rage and the following day acted out even more.
He came in and started breaking stuff downstairs again. So I had immediately went downstairs and said, like, we're not doing this. You need to stop. And my youngest followed me downstairs and she was screaming, like, don't stop. Like he was punching holes in the wall. And then he had started walking towards her. So I'd pushed him back away from her and I was screaming at her to go upstairs and have her sister call 911. And that's when he started like punching and hitting me. I was holding his arms down, screaming for the other kids to call 911, was taking stuff and throwing it across the room at me. And then he ripped the plastic off his window. So like the night before, we just put plastic over the window. I didn't clean up any of the glass. Like I was at the hospital part of the night and came home and took care of the other kids. So he had ripped off the plastic and he's like, I'm going to slice your throats and I'm going to slice my sister's throats. And he was grabbing the glass out of the window. And at that point, I ran back upstairs and called 911 again.
Cam says her son wasn't taken to the hospital that time. He wound up in juvenile detention, and in a few weeks, he could be returned home. While trying to advocate for a residential treatment facility for her son, she says the mental health resource officer through Health West, also known as the Wraparound Services Coordinator, said they will not support residential treatment.
My understanding is that CMH Community Mental Health is pushing for him to return home. They will not recommend residential for him. I don't understand why. I don't agree with it, but they will not. They've made it very clear they will not recommend residential for him. Their job is to keep him in the community.
What is your understanding of the safety plan?
It's a box they have to check. But they're saying if we give him a visual chart, then he'll know what he has to do all day, and then he'll just magically not act out. I was texting in a group chat, the Health West workers, his therapist, and Wraparound. Wraparound suggested turning on his favorite movie and seeing if he recognizes it and would come upstairs, which is kind of silly. I don't feel like any safety plan we've done has actually made me or my family feel any safer.
Mm-hmm.
The safety plan centers around, and it involves him using coping skills such as deep breathing. He doesn't use coping skills. He refuses to. So it's not realistic.
Should her son be released and Cam refuses to take him home?
My understanding is that CPS would get involved and remove all of the children from me because that would be neglect at that point.
How do the children feel now?
They're scared. It's their brother and they love him, but they're also terrified of him coming home. And my 10-year-old was asking me in the car the other day, what happens if we come home and just killed you? What do I do to keep my younger sister safe?